Hi class, how are you today? No, really, I want to know. Write down how you are today. Do it right now. The learning target for today is to solve a system of equations by graphing. Now we'll get into systems of equations and solving them in three different ways. We'll have graphing, substitution, and elimination. Today we're just going to focus on graphing. So some of this will be a bit of graphing review for you, but really solving systems of equations is just doing the graphing and then seeing where they intersect. Talk more about that in a bit. First off, with the scale, a 3, you can solve a system of equations by graphing. 2, you can solve a system of equations by graphing if the equations are already in slope-intercept form. So that means you have trouble turning them into slope-intercept form. 1, you can graph equations, but you can't solve a system of them. And 0, you cannot graph equations. Let's get started. All right, so here's our system of equations. Like I said, we have one equation, two equations. Two equations, and to solve the system of equations, we need to know when are x and y the same in both equations. Essentially, in their graph, when do they intersect? So there are actually three ways to solve a system of equations. They're known as graphing, substitution, and elimination. Today we're going to talk about graphing. So first, let's graph them. So let's look at the first equation, and just so we can tell the equations apart, I'm going to put the first equation in red and the second equation in blue. And just mark those so we know which is which. So the first equation, we have 2/5 x plus 3. So the plus 3 is your y-intercept, remember? So we need to go up 3 and plot our first point. Then we need to follow the slope. Remember, it's rise over run. So up 2 over 5. So we have to go up 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we mark our point. Now, let's wait until the end to actually graph the lines. So now let's jump to the second equation. Y equals 2x minus 5. So first our y-intercept, negative 5. Put a point there. And then our slope is 2. Remember, as a fraction, that would be 2 over 1. So rise over run tells us up 2 over 1. And plot our point. Now, you can probably tell by looking at it that these will, if we draw a line, these will end up intersecting. But we need to find out exactly where do they intersect. So what we want to do is we want to continue these lines until we find out where they intersect. So you have to figure out which line to work with and which direction to go based on the angles they're at. So this one, if we continue this line up, it's probably going to intersect right up here, maybe even right here. So if we should probably continue this line, keep going up with our slope, and see if it intersects there. So remember, the slope of this line is 2 over 1. So each time we want to go up, so we went up 2 over 1. Now from this point we want to go up 2 over 1. So we plot a point there. Then from that point, we want to go up 2 over 1. So we plot a point there. Then from that point, we want to go up 2 over 1. So we plot a point there. Then from that point, we want to go up 2 over 1. So we plot a point there. Hey, we noticed that those two intersected. And if we then draw lines for these, don't worry, I can't draw straight lines. These two lines will intersect right here at this point. Now we need to find out what point that is. So our final answer, we need x equals y equals. We need x equals some number and y equals some number. So first our x, that goes across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is at 5. And then our y value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The y is also at 5. So our answer is x equals 5, y equals 5, because they intersect at the point 5, 5. Usually your x's and y's will be different, but in this case they happen to be the same number. Alright, so next we have two equations again, but notice the first one is not in slope-intercept form. So to be able to do this by graphing, we need to change it into slope-intercept form. So let's rewrite it. So we have x plus 4y equals negative 4. So we want to first solve for y. So we want to get x over on the other side. So first we have to subtract x from both sides. So that'll give us x plus 4y minus x equals negative 4 minus x. And I don't have room for properties, but subtraction property of equality. And after we combine like terms, that'll give us 4y equals, and remember you should probably put the x first, so negative x minus 4. Now we need to solve for y, so we need to get rid of this 4 here. So it's multiplying y by 4, so we divide everything by 4. So everything needs to divide by 4. So we will be left with y equals, now, negative x over 4. We need a number in front of x to be able to graph it with slope. So what number do we say is in front of x when there's nothing there? 1. Since it's negative, negative 1. So this will become negative 1/4 x, and then minus 4 divided by 4 is 1. So y equals negative 1/4 x minus 1. So now we have that in slope-intercept form. Now that we're down here, let's write the other equation down here. Y equals negative 3x minus 1. So this is still our system of equations, just rewritten. So let's graph it from down here. So we have our y equals negative 1/4 x minus 1. So the y-intercept is negative 1. That's 1. Need to change that. Negative 1. And then the slope is negative 1/4. So we would go down 1 and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. Then with the other one, our y-intercept is also -1. So also on this point. And then we go down 3 over 1. So down 1, 2, 3 over 1 to the right. And then make our lines, because we see already that both lines intersect at the y-intercept. So since both lines intersect at the y-intercept right here, we need an x and a y. Our x will be 0, and our y will be -1. So x equals 0, y equals -1. And that's because this is the point 0, -1. So notice with this one, we have y equals 2x minus 3, and then y equals 1. Remember, back when we first learned graphing, if you have x equals some number, we'll call it a, then that's going to be a vertical line at whatever a is. And if you have y equals b, it's going to be a horizontal line at whatever b is. So, first let's graph our y equals -2x minus 3, making this red and this blue. So the y-intercept is -3, and then the slope is -2. So we go down 2 and to the right 1. Now, the second one, y equals 1, that's going to be just a horizontal line at y equals 1. So, pretty much just your y-intercept will be at 1, and then just put another point right next to it at the moment, because it's going to be a horizontal line. And if you even want to draw it at this point, it'd be perfectly fine, because it's just going to go right across this line right here. But for now, let's leave it the way it is. So, the first equation, this one right here, has a slope of -2, so it goes down 2 over 1. This one is horizontal, has no slope. So, if we keep following this down, we're never going to hit this horizontal line up here. So we need to go this way and follow it up. And this one, we're going to have to go to the left. So, we follow this line up. So instead of going down 2 and over 1, we go up 2 and to the left 1. So up 2 and to the left 1. And let's do that one more time. Up 2 and to the left 1. And we have a point right there. As we know, our horizontal line is just going to keep going across and also have a point right there. So we draw our two lines. And for our answer, we need an x and a y, just like usual. So our x was 1, 2, so negative 2. And our y is 1. By the way, we actually already knew the y because it was already given to us as 1. So x equals negative 2, y equals 1. So just remember, if you get something that says just y equals or just x equals, x is a vertical line at that number, so it goes straight up and down. Y is a horizontal line at that number, so it goes straight across. Alright, now time for the sponge. Solve each system of equations by graphing. So on the first one, you've got two equations, graph each of them, and then where they intersect is where your answer is. So you can write your answer as a point, or you can write it as x equals y equals. I'll accept either. And then number 2, x equals negative 2 and y equals negative 4x plus 5. I need to see the graph on both of these, so just make sure on that. And then give me your answer where they intersect. Graph them both, and then see where they intersect, and that's your answer. Alright, that's it for the lesson. Once again, please make sure to take notes on the entire lesson. You have to attempt the sponge, and make sure, rate yourself, go back to the beginning of the video where you had the scale, and are you a 3, 2, 1, or 0, so I can have it. Please make sure to take a picture of your notes and your sponge, submit them all to Backpack, and have a good night.